In the town of Burden, a partially demolished jail sits slowly sinking into the mud. Inside, under the low patter of heavy raindrops, Rosie leans back in a chair, her feet plopped onto a desk next to her loaded crossbow, and her eyes narrow on several enemy soldiers safely now returned to their cells. The front hatch of the jail opens, and down the stone steps carrying a few bottles and some ham comes the local tavern keeper, Serenade. Now, Rosie, let someone else keep watch. You've been at it all day. Last time I left it to someone else, the western wall exploded and some scorpion motherfucker started threatening my town. Your town. And at this, Serenade sets 2 bottles on the desk next to the crossbow. You've been back maybe 2 days? Know as well as I do, you can't just leave burden behind you. Burden sticks with you. Serenade sits, carves a slice of ham and hands it to Rosie, who takes it and begins to nibble. Sorry, I'm worried about them. We all are. No one likes putting our faith in a handful of people. Especially an outsider, an arsonist, a failed sheriff, and a local business turtle. And then a voice from a cell further in the jail. Pardon me, Fräuleins, but if we could keep it down. Some of us are trying to sleep. And you speak of these local heroes like they can actually do anything against the mountain. Ha! I've heard the weapons testing their range. They're close. I'd suggest you run, and in lieu of that, shut up. You don't know them like I do. I stabbed one of them with a spear, and he fell right over. I've heard them talking when they first met each other. Not that inspiring.
He's gonna fight like an idiot.
Like a bugbear in a jail cell.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. As soon as they open the gate, Connie, you burst up, throwing your manacles aside, throw up your hands, ready for a fight. And at this, you see another one of the guards wave a small wand in the air. And as that happens, Cryon, Mikek, and Elif, the manacles on your hands start to become electrified and start to shake it.
Bad.
And Connie, you look around, you see this as these generally innocent people now seem to be paying for your situation. Is that enough to calm you down, or are you more involved in the fight?
Are these kind of electrical manacles something that Connie, again with a background in law enforcement, maybe not necessarily like army level, would he be familiar with these? Are these gonna kill these people?
You don't think they'll kill them, but it's certainly hurting them. And it could kill them if it continues. Yeah.
That's not enough for Connie yet. I'm sorry, guys.
I would appreciate this if it stopped.
Connie's still fighting.
All right, the others, everyone else is kind of stunned for a moment with the manacles frying your hands. Connie, why don't you give me a initiative roll? And just Connie for now, and if the others need to join in later, that's fine.
12.
All right. Technically, you got the jump on them. They tried to do the magical manacles, and that didn't work. So if you want to throw a punch, feel free.
Is it a surprise attack?
Yes, we'll say it's a surprise. They are officially surprised.
All right, that's a 7 strength roll.
A wild haymaker. Whoosh. And the guard just kind of ducks out of the way.
And then immediately they rush you. They're going to go ahead and you don't have a... Are you raging at this point, technically?
I am not technically raging, no.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
This was a really bad idea.
So what's your armor class? 14. All right. Oh no. Oh no.
It ain't that crit hit.
Eesh. Oh no.
Vital wound?
Yeah. As you throw your haymaker, you just see spears. Just so many spears. They're just through the bars. They're just stabbing at you. The rest of you watch now as your manacles stop tasing you. Essentially, you watch as Connie falls backward, unconscious on the ground. 4 spears sticking out of him at various points.
That felt a little excessive.
You hear the knight walking back. Do we want to try this again?
What exactly heroes of legend? Well, on the other hand, I heard Mr. Tumbledown's speech, and I'll tell you, it warmed my heart to this cold spot of mud in the middle of nowhere. Known Mr. Tumbledown a long time, and it was needed to hear him. Yeah, that's legend enough for me.
This isn't fair. They only said they would burn it if they couldn't find him. Look, they're already trying to burn down our town. Mikek is going to draw his club and with his bonus action cast Shillelagh on it. The entire club is going to flower and blossom. And over the rain, you're going to hear, I am Mikek Tumbledown, and I'm not going to let them burn our home.
You're all just beasts babbling to beasts. You will accomplish nothing. Burden will burn tonight, and you will be driven into the fields like scattered cattle. Gutter lays back on the bench in his cell. His rustling wakes up another soldier who turns over and hits him in the leg. You don't know my Elif, though. She's special. And even after years away from her, I could see it in her eyes. I still hear her concern, her words, and a power behind them.
Elif is going to go find Rose.
Okay. Yeah, she's already sort of directing a few people. She seems to kind of be taking charge of arming a few of the residents of the town. And she sees you come up to her and she nods, finishes her conversation, and then kind of takes you to the side of one of the awnings where the rain is just sort of splashing down into the mud.
Hey, so it's like really great to see you again after like 7 years, because 7 years is a really long time, especially because I was like only 18. So you just like a huge chunk of my life gone without you. Where were you for 7 years? Like, what the heck? Also, great to see you again.
Elif, breathe, please. Just
I mean,
take
I
a
am
breath.
breathing. I would pass out if I wasn't breathing, clearly. Obviously, I'm breathing. Right?
She smiles and I can't tell you everything, but just know that I'm coming back. I couldn't stay away from this town for too long. Yes, well, it seems like you've grown up a bit and you didn't burn the whole place down. That's good.
I mean, not like for lack of trying, right? No, I wasn't really trying. I did burn down a really, I shouldn't say that really loudly. I burned down an officer's house last night, and it was fucking awesome. But like, also like, just I've been gone for a while, and I wasn't gone that long. It's not really like a, that's not like an explanation, Rose. 7 years is a long time. You were like my mother, okay? And you just like disappeared. My parents were trash. They're scumbags. You were the only person I had to look up to, and you just walked out on me.
Elif, breathe. It's okay. I know what I did. I needed to protect you. I couldn't stay here. There was something I needed to figure out on my own. And I did.
Okay. What was that thing? What was that thing, Rose?
Well, there's something big happening. It's not just the war. It's bigger than the war. It's bigger than nations and countries, and there's something happening that's going to be affecting all of us, all people, Wigmolians, Gohonians, Bovalians, everyone. If you give me time, I can set a few things right and let you in on that. But for now, just be happy that we have our town still in one piece.
Cult! Cult! Rosie's in a cult.
You're not there.
Why haven't you killed that one yet?
He's not here. Yeah, because she would have known Connie, right? When Connie was sheriff.
Yeah.
Awkward. Anyway.
Awkward.
No, okay, but like I get what you're saying, and I appreciate that you were doing something super, 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 super important. But also, like, it was 7 years, and I mean, I don't know. Just, that's not really a good explanation, but I guess I'll try to be patient. Try to let me in on it and trust me. You should trust me. But, okay.
I do. I just need you to take a patient breath. After we get everything settled, after Burden is safe again, I'll let you in on everything, I promise. I'm proud of you. You've done really well without me. Happy to see you again.
Yeah, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I am super, 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 super happy to see you again. Like, ecstatic. It's just also like, I don't know. It's like bittersweet, kind of mixed. But yeah, we can talk about it later. I have, I guess, other stuff to deal with. That turtle man is my friend, and I need to help him with something. So, yeah.
Okay. That's true. I trust Elif, though I'm not sure why. She started 4 fires in my pub. I can't believe we beat back these thieves. And she points over to Gunter and the soldiers. Can't believe we got back Collier. And I can't believe we didn't just run when we saw the mountain. But I saw the 4 of them looking determined, standing firm. And I felt protected even facing the scariest, most unnatural thing I've ever seen in my life. No birds, no crickets. It's as if all of Burden's creatures are waiting in anticipation. Their collective breaths held for a moment. Something off in the distance. A horn blows low and long. It draws your eye toward the last patch of gray sky for miles, far to the east. And then your own breath catches. You begin toward the edge of Burden, all of you. The whole town gathers, mouths agape, staring toward the rising sun. You see the elk first. Maybe 40 of them, massive creatures, and it takes a moment before you see the lines of rope extending from each point on their massive heads up into the sky. And your eyes follow them into the air, into the cloud, and above even, because impossibly, sitting atop the cloud itself is a singular, massive mountain, adorned with green grasses and trees, and trebuchets, and catapults,
siege weapons. You see specks of fires lit on the hillside and fortifications along its base, and above all the ramparts already set hundreds of feet into the sky, a gigantic figure stands to its full height. You shouldn't be able to make it out at this distance, but you can. Pale white skin, red and white robes. The figure places a horn to its lips, blows again, vibrating the ground around you.
And then a voice from the jail cell. You are being silly. You are putting your trust in feathers and birds, nothing of substance. And the door to the jail creaks open again. The sound of the rain heightens, and Kalia comes around the corner, dressed in an old leather armor fitted for someone slightly smaller than her. And before Rosie sees her, she's reminded of something. Yeah, why does Elif have that little bird flitting around her all of a sudden? And at this, Kalia speaks up. Oh, I know actually. Connie gave it to her. Cryon told me the whole thing. If Connie hadn't muddied that relationship a bit, I'd have said it was downright sweet.
Andy, does Connie happen to have back at his bugbear bachelor pad any kind of bounty hunter tool or object or magic item like that could function as a tracker?
Yes, I would say you do. You have a pair of birds that always know where the other one is.
Birds?
Yeah. Yep, two fairly grimy looking pigeon-y, like mini pigeons, basically.
Mini pigeons.
Are they alive? Are these living pigeons?
Yeah.
Just malnourished, apparently.
No, you've been feeding them. You've been gone a day, basically.
They're miniature. Why are they miniature?
Because they're in this magical world. There's mini pigeons.
Grimy? Why are they grimy?
Oh, because they haven't been washed, or they prefer to be dirty.
Been in Connie's inside pocket.
Yeah, but they were back at your bachelor pad.
Oh, guys, all this action in town here in Burden, so loud, all the jumping around on.
It was like really great, isn't it?
What?
I didn't get that one either.
I know, it's like really great, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's great, but we could all use some rest, especially you and me, Elif, after that ridiculous encounter we had down in the basement. And I don't want to put out our friend Mikek here again by going to stay at his shop. So I say, you're all welcome to come with me to my bugbear bachelor pad on the other end of town. And I'll get some rest there. I know that's where I'm heading. So, and I'll lumber to my feet. Can you lumber to one's feet? Connie does that.
Sure.
Okay, I'll come to you.
Yeah, all of you guys are my friends. We're Bob. We're Base of Burden. Nobody can stop us. Not some goddamn rugged damn mountain either. But first, we got to get some rest. So, anyone's welcome to follow me to my bug pad. Here I go. I'm walking now with my big, long bugbear stride. Step, step, step. I don't know why I insist on doing Foley work for walking.
Who would like to accompany Connie? I think Mikek's going to his place with Kalia as well.
Elif is going to go with Connie because she's really excited that he thinks that they're friends now and she wants to hang out with him.
Okay. And Cryon
says, thanks, Mikek, thanks for the offer, and just grabs Elif by the arm as she walks past and says, Elif, do you want some space with Connie? Do you want to...
As many friends as possible is great. Like we just have to
just the friend thing. It's just the friend thing. Just checking. I was feeling some vibes there. Okay, in that case, Connie, I'd love to come check out your place. You have beer?
Yeah, I got bug beer.
Jesus.
As everyone's looking around this place too, probably the nicest thing in this entire place is a fairly large bird cage in the back corner, with kind of roosts for 3 different birds, and there are 2 birds in here.
On his way over to join Elif at the birdcage, Connie will kind of put his hand on Cryan's head, I guess, and kind of pat him. Don't worry, Cryan. In the morning, I'll help you find that old lady and kill her or some shit.
Thanks, man. Chink, chink, ball, chink, chink, chink.
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
Looks like you found Bert and Ernie over here. Yeah, Bert and Ernie over here. I've had these 2 for so long. Probably have had them for more than 10 years. Perhaps.
There used to be 3.
There used to be 3, huh? What happened to the 3rd one?
No idea.
Connie doesn't know.
Nope.
But it's just these. But it's just these 2 that have the kind of magical effect or whatever.
Oh no! Yeah, they had all 3 of them had it.
Oh, the 3 of them are kind of connected like that.
Yeah.
Bert and Ernie, huh? So, it looks like Ernie's a little smaller than Bert. So would you say that Bert is Big Bird?
Big Bird.
Well, that's kind of confusing, don't you think, Cryan?
Yeah, I don't think. Wait, there's no Sesame Street in this particular, right?
Is there a street called Sesame Street in Burden?
Not in Burden, no. It's in Malmont.
Hey, how does Elif seem to be getting along with these birds? She's chirping at them. Does there seem to be any chemistry here?
Give me an animal handling check real quick, Elif. A 20,
Ooh.
yeah. Actually, yeah. They flock right over to Elif and, seem to be intrigued with this new person. There has not been, let's face it, there's not been any visitors here for a long time.
Well, I'll be. They take a shine to you like mud takes a licking to my boot. You know what? I ain't seen Ernie take to somebody like this since Vern left. Yeah, the 2 of us.
Since Vern died?
What?
You mean died since Vern died? Because I'm pretty sure he's dead, right? Like, I mean, I knew him and I heard about him dying. Is he not dead?
Yeah, he died. He was killed by the Gonian army, but that was a few years after he ousted me as sheriff. And when he ousted me as sheriff, ending our relationship, I kept the birds. And he didn't get to see them ever again. It was kind of heartbreaking for everybody all around.
That's like really, really, really sad. And I was never going to send him because he's dead. That's like so sad for birds.
It's really sad. And I don't know what happened to the 3rd bird, but...
Thinking about it now, it was about that time period when the 3rd one was gone.
Oh, I wonder if... Oh, God, hurry, damn it. Did Vern take the 3rd bird? The 3rd bird's name, by the way, was Grover. And... Anyway, what I'm working up to, is I'm an old bugbear, and bounty hunting isn't treating me as well as it used to, and frankly, I haven't had enough money to.
Are you saying you'd retire? You'd retire and take care of the birds? You'd retire and just live at home in your dotage in your old age and just hang out with the birds all the time? That's so cute. That's adorable. You'd be so cute. You'd be such an adorable little man.
Rugged, damn it, Elif! I don't do cute things and I don't do adorable things. I'm a serious bugbear character. I am not a source of comic relief here. Now, what I was saying was that I cannot afford to take care of 2 birds anymore. And the sight of Ernie getting along with you reminds me of happier days.
When you kill Ernie?
I'm not gonna kill Ernie. Oh, god damn it, Elif. Can you just let me? Oh, I wish I'd died down in that basement.
Oh, why are you feeling so suicidal? Do you need help? I can even see a therapist friend of mine. They're kind of seedy. They live in the slums with me, but they're like really good and they help us all because we have a lot of trauma. We face a lot of trauma in our lives, and they can help you out. Do you want me to take you?
Anyway, I would like to formally offer you Ernie. Here's the thing about these two birds. They only are happy when it's the three of them together. When they're not all three of them together, they can't stand each other. Bert and Ernie, they're always fighting. So actually, you'd be making them much happier if you took Ernie off my hands. Ernie would be happy with you. Bert would be happy with me. And isn't that, great? And anyway, Elif, look at little Ernie. Ernie's down here, he's chirping and he's pecking at your little flame fingers. I ain't seen him do anything cute or adorable since I lost my secret homosexual lover, Vern, to the winds of circumstance. It's a very independent bird and can take care of itself. Ernie's like that. So, what do you say, Elif? It'll be kind of like friendship bracelets, each of us having one of these birds. What do you think?
You like friendship bracelets because we're friends?
Yeah, because we're friends and we're facing the common enemy of a moving mountain.
Cryon told you all that. He's a bit shifty. Did you know he's on the run from some shady business with a monastery? Can we trust him? Kalia responds immediately. Yes, we can. Then Rosie. How are you so sure, girl? And Kalia steps further into the lamplight, lightly touches the wood on the desk. He has a fearlessness about him, and a sensitivity. It's hard to explain. He has nothing to lose, but is still afraid to. And after a moment and a breath, she continues. He's had opportunities to run and just leave us to our fate. I saw him mount a griffin and take off into the sky, but there wasn't an ounce of me that wasn't sure he'd be back.
So, an 8 on animal handling. So, Cryon, you're just sort of holding on tight, just digging your hands into the feathers and just holding on as very quickly you've ascended into the air. It's been, again, a cloudy night. There are no real fires on the ground, so you almost lose your orientation very quickly. And you can't even tell if you're upside down or if you're right side up at this point. You then just feel yourself going higher and higher and higher, and you just barely open your eyes to look around. You see yourself now covered in a thick fog all around you, and you kind of take a breath, and it's moist air, and then immediately you come above the clouds onto this moonlit plain of sort of clouds ahead of you. What is it you'd like to try to do?
Where's McKeck? Where's my partner in crime? Is he nearby? Is he?
McKeck, have you gone up to follow?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. I think you, McKeck, and Kali are trying to head back, probably to town. And McKeck, why don't you give me an animal handling then as well? Or would you rather have Kalia?
I mean, I'd probably also just be talking to my griffin. I'd also be asking him or them if they have a name.
Yes. Oh, yes, dear boy. Yes. They call me Fames.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Fames. Perhaps we can head back to the city and your friend will hopefully bring my friend back there at not terminal velocity.
That would be lucky.
Okay, so we had a conversation about this earlier, and you seemed to suggest that you thought it was going to go well.
Yes, I'm sure it's fine. No need to worry, old chap. You're fine. He's fine. Everyone will be just peachy keen.
Andy, you're the worst.
So Cryon, yeah, you kind of look around. You just don't see McEck or Kalia.
Okay, he's on his own. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. He likes it that way. I mean, can I try and experiment with a little, like you would do with a horse, kind of lean on its left wing to go left, lean on its right wing to go right, pull back on its feathers to go up?
Sure, you've tried talking to it. You've tried, just kind of using its feathers as reins. Those haven't worked so far. So let's try this. A 20. There it is. All right. So you're starting to now figure out these animals. You can't control them. You can only kind of lean on them to suggest a direction, if that makes sense. And as they're then kind of gliding through and you're shifting your body weight back and forth, now you're starting to get the hang of it, Crap. You're now realizing what it's going to take to gently lead and suggest to these animals where to go. And at this point, you're sort of now diving in and out of the clouds. If this was water, you would look like a dolphin, basically coming up, checking, looking around, dipping back into fog. And you're making your way much closer to this mountain. So what is it then that you're wanting to look for specifically around this thing? As you're getting closer, you can see fire lights kind of dotting the mountainside as if there are small encampments. You also could kind of go underneath a little bit into the cloud cover to try to look for like caves or entrances kind of underneath the kind of lip mantle of the wide brim of the mountain itself.
It's kind of a recon check, right? It's just a kind of a sortie of sorts.
And I think, if I was correct, the thing we talked about last time was actually partially around the fact that McKeck and Connie are both very sort of large creatures on the back of a griffin. So you were going to be looking for, is there a way to sneak in? Is there, like, that was sort of what was at the top of your mind.
I mean, you did say that there was potentially kind of entrances to tunnels and things like that. Is that what you see from a distance? Cave entrances and stuff like that?
Right. It's kind of it's hard, especially in the moonlight, to see from a distance, but you can get much closer.
Let's certainly get much closer. I just don't want to get...
Especially if you go into the cloud cover, you might be able to see kind of what's underneath the mountain a little bit.
Cool. Yeah, let's get closer.
All right. So you dive into the clouds. You're coming up on the mountain itself. And let's go ahead and do a perception check to see what you're seeing. A 13. Right. So as you dip down even below the kind of overcast clouds, they're just kind of creating a wall of fog up here. You now have gotten closer, much closer to this place. You can see several things. One, you see on the ground fires and torches surrounding the elk. You also are able to kind of dip and dive in between the ropes that seem to go up entirely into the mountain itself, that are tied to the antlers of these elk on the ground. As you get up closer to those, you see that about 5 of those ropes each are tied to a large metal kind of circular hook. And that those are driven deep into the rock of the bottom of the mountain itself. So those seem to be anchor points, which then the elk are using to pull this mountain along. Off the backside of the mountain, then, there's a waterfall that you see going down into the clouds itself, and then just kind of coming out the other end of the clouds is rain at that point. As you get closer to the waterfall, you do see that it's a fairly large cave that water is pouring out of. And that is on the underside of the cave then as well. Or I'm sorry, the underside of the mountain as well. So you think at least you would be hidden from whoever's on top of the mountain. So that's a possibility too.
Nice little bit of insight, but I can't get too much closer to the entrance to that cave.
You can, yeah, if you want to. Yep, you can definitely get closer.
Yeah, I'd like to come back with kind of a potential starting off plan of sorts, a place to start to see. So let's see if I can get a little closer.
All right. Let's try an animal handling check to see how well you can kind of guide this bird creature in. A 9. A 9's decent. It's not hard. Now that you've sort of managed to figure out how to steer this creature, you don't think... Yeah. So you're able to basically kind of land on one of the sides of that massive cave where the waterfall is coming out of. You do that. You sort of crumble a few rocks, making a bunch of noise as you're doing that. But you do discover that there's a path along the side of the now river that is coming out of the mountain, out from the heart of the mountain itself. And that path is large and wide enough, about 10 feet across. So you could even walk your griffin up that path a little bit longer if you want to see kind of what's further in the cave.
Yeah, let's push our luck a little bit.
All right. Do you stay on the griffin, or would you like to kind of get off and sneak?
Well, are they loud? Are they pretty
a little bit? Yeah.
in their flout?
Yeah, this one has claws and talons that are like scraping against the rock. If you were listening for something, you probably would hear it. But you don't even know if there's guards down here at all or anything like that. So
I'll definitely jump off as long as in the jumping off landing process, that's not loud. That's not too loud in itself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, let's then give you a stealth check. 18. Nice. All right. Yeah, with an 18, you sort of land deftly, quietly. The rushing water, there's no way they can hear you over this. And as the water spills out over the edge of the cliff that you're on, and you're going further into that cave, you feel like you hear maybe music, then a few notes kind of bouncing off of the walls of this cave up ahead. And as you kind of then turn just a little bit of a corner, because you're on the right side of this cave, and the cave itself then splits off to the right. You can tell that there must be some sort of metal ore along the sides of these caves, because something much further in is now glinting and bouncing light off of all of this ore, and it's becoming sparkly and beautiful as you see it.
Wow.
But this definitely seems to be an entrance to get onto the mountain, at least. You're not sure where it goes exactly yet. Would you like to continue, or? You're moving away from the river if you go into that cave area.
You mean away from the safety of the river? Is that what you...
Safety as in it's making a lot of noise, and so it's easier to sneak. Yeah.
I mean, if we all come back in, there's going to be way more of us making way more noise, and at some point we have to turn down away from the river. Maybe it's a good idea for one of us to have a look. I'll push my luck a little further and maybe see if I can turn that corner just to get possibly the last recon before I head out.
Let's do it. So we'll do one more stealth check. How we doing? 16. All right. Whew. All right, Cryon. With a 16, you're quietly now. You're now getting into a space where the griffin probably can't follow you, but it seems very okay waiting at the mouth of this cave. So if you're okay leaving him behind for a little bit, you can go in pretty sneakily further in.
Sure.
Okay. So you then sneak on in. The rock here is again glinting. It's some sort of obsidian and kind of a silvery ore, it seems to be like, all around you. And as you get further and further in, you now hear where that music is coming from. There's a chant, it seems, that is coming from further up in through this cave. And as you continue in, going slowly, making sure that no pebble is disturbed, you come to the exit of the cave that you're in, which is a sheer drop of about 20 feet into a circular room, in the middle of which is a very large white crystal that is pulsing with blue and white energy. And then you see who's chanting around it. For perspective, please remember that you're only like 3 feet tall.
Sure.
These things that are walking around it are about 30, 40 feet tall. They go not only up past where you are, like you're 20 feet probably off the ground now at the top of this cave that drops 20 feet. They're standing on that. You're about at their belly button, and then another 20 feet up. Then you see the heads of these creatures who are very slowly and methodically almost dancing as they move around. If anyone's ever seen like No theater in Japan, it's a very like calculated, flowing kind of movement as they walk around. And their voices are now booming in this cave. It seems almost as if the chant is echoing 30 times what it should as it bounces off the walls in this high place. Right now, you can't tell if they're like worshiping this thing, if they're activating this crystal. You're not exactly sure what's going on. But it does appear that somehow stone giants are involved here.
Okay. I think I'm not gonna push my luck anymore without going back to the party and
All right.
telling them what I've seen. So I think I'm gonna head back out and see if I can locate my griffin friend.
All right. So you step out, get back onto the griffin. You've now managed to be able to steer this thing. It trots, fairly loudly, but again, the river's making a lot of noise. It leaps off of the edge of the cliff, following the river and over into the waterfall, down. You're starting to get the spray of the water in your face, and then the wings open and it shoots off into the clouds itself.
The three women breathe together and exhale more of their own worry into the dank air of the prison. Then Kalia smiles and looks to Rosie. Well, we trust them to do their part. They should trust us to do ours. Let's get going. Are you two going somewhere? Then Rosie picks up the crossbow, groans a bit, lifting off the chair. We're doing what we can to protect Burden. Then Serenade, eyes wide, speaks. But what can I do? Kalia puts a hand on Serenade's shoulder. Whatever you can. They leave from the hatch, and it now sounds to Serenade like the rain is beginning to lift. She now sits alone in the jail, chewing on some ham and drinking just a bit of her own supply. I'd like to tell you the beasts of burden are successful, and that they destroyed this weapon of war and saved the town and made it all back safely. And I'd like to tell you that because Frankly, we could all use a win right now against the forces that seem so much bigger than us. But this is Dungeons and Dragons, a game of shared storytelling with a distinct element of chance used to tell that story. I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen. I just don't know. But I do know it will help if you're there to cheer them on. You'll want to experience this arc finale live if you can. So please join us on Wednesday, July 8th on twitch.tv/helpfulgoat at 9 p.m. Eastern Time to witness the final session of the Myriad arc in the game Dom and Dragons, where we play Dungeons and Dragons with Dominic Monaghan. So, we'll see you then.